You know, so when I hear people saying that, I'm going to change topic ever so slightly for a moment.
Okay.
That they want to follow this calendar because that's the one that the priests followed. Folks, I'm sorry, but you don't understand. Those priests were leading the people astray. Are you sure you want to follow that calendar that they were promoting? I don't get it.
And it got worse after Hanukkah and the Maccabees. They said, well, I tell you what, we were such good battle leaders, we'll make ourselves high priests. Never mind that we're not Zadokian.
Right.
Yeah. Who cares what Scripture says? We're going to make ourselves priests.
But even then, if you stick to the Zadok time frame especially after the days of Hezekiah, okay, I mean, these people, the priests, okay, here's the thing. When someone says they want to follow that calendar because that's what the priests did, to me, I don't think they really don't know what they're saying, because that priesthood was an abomination to Yahweh. Okay. In fact, you can look at the days of Josiah. This is like 2 Kings, I think it's chapter 22, 23, somewhere around there. When he became king at 8 years old. And then I think it's 18 years later, they're doing work on the temple and stuff. And then one of his servants came in and says, hey, look, we found the book of the law. Well, wait a second. You're surprised? The book of the law in the temple, and you're surprised? What was going on? Well, who was over the temple? The priests. If you go in to look what Josiah cleaned out of the temple, it is insane. I got a verse, I think it is. Yeah, it is 2 Kings 23. Well, I think it starts in 22, but this is 23. Check out, this is just one small clip of what he cleaned out. This is 2 Kings 23:11. It says, he removed from the entrance to the temple of Yahweh the horses that the kings of Judah had dedicated to the sun. Let's stop. So now you got horses dedicated to the kings, to the sun. Now, the kings of Judah did it, but the priests were the ones who were over it, and they allowed it to come in. Now let's go a little farther. They were in the court near the room of an official named Nathan Melech. Josiah then burned the chariots dedicated to the sun. So now we have horses dedicated to the sun and chariots dedicated to the sun. Well, why would there be horses and chariots dedicated to the sun? I'll tell you why. Because in the Greek similarity of this god, it was Helios, the sun god. I forgot the Babylonian name for it, but it's Helios. Helios was the sun god, and he got in his chariot with his horses and chariot that flew in the sky, and he pulled the sun behind him in the chariot. That's what was dedicated to the sun in the temple of Yahweh. Now, why would they do that? Because they're following a calendar of the sun only. That's why you have the sun and the horses and the chariot dedicated to the sun. They completely obliterated everything else in following the sun only. It was sun worship. And I don't understand how anyone cannot see that. It bothers me when I hear people saying, oh, you got to follow the priest. No, you follow Yahweh. You don't follow the priests. Well, let me read a few verses regarding what Jeremiah says regarding the priesthood. Jeremiah 8:10. And I say all this because of this priesthood. It's the priesthood is what leads the people astray. And it will be the priesthood in the end times that leads the people astray again. So it's history being cyclical. He makes known the end from the beginning, ancient times, what's still to come. So here's Jeremiah 8:10. Therefore, I will give their wives to other men and their fields to new owners. From the least to the greatest, all are greedy for gain. Prophets and priests alike, all practice deceit. And that was 8:10. This is 23:11. Both prophet and priests are godless. Even in my temple, I find their wickedness. In my temple. And in Josiah's day, he cleaned it all out. In fact, it says before that time and then after, no king had come and turned 100% to Yahweh like him. But the second he died, they immediately went back to their old ways. It says they followed the ways of their fathers. They went back to the sun worship. Now, okay, here's the thing too. Now, listen to what Jeremiah 26:7 says, because this is like the kicker for me. The priests, the prophets, and all the people heard Jeremiah speak these words in the house of Yahweh. But As soon as Jeremiah finished telling all the people everything Yahweh had commanded him to say, the priests, the prophets, and all the people seized him and said, "You must die." And these are the people that want to follow the calendar that they created and did. I'm sorry. These are the people you don't want to follow. There's a verse where it says the priests and the prophets do what they want. You don't follow them because they're priests. You follow them because they uphold the word, the Torah. That's what you do. And if they're not following the Torah, you don't follow them.